The good news is you can do this. And I'm going to encourage you, whatever you've been through, my prayers are with you, my thoughts are with you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rolla, clinical psychologist, and today I want to talk to you about the fourth type of abuser. I've been doing this mini-series for a few weeks now. I talked about the first type, who is the approval seeker. The second type, who is a teacher. The third type, who is a controller. And today the fourth type, which is the final video I'm doing on the typology of abusers, the fourth type is an incorporator. Before I continue with this topic, I want you to subscribe, press the notification bell so that you would have immediate access to my videos. I want you to also follow me on social media at Ask Dr. Rolla, AskDrRolla. So this is, again, my last video. I'm doing this series because oftentimes we miss the signs of domestic violence. We have a hard time believing the victim when they report that they're being abused. We come across people who do not fit the picture of who we think an abuser is. And that is because oftentimes the picture we have of an abuser is erroneous. And that is why understanding the typology of abusers is absolutely necessary. It helps us to be able to detect it and to get help for those who are on the receiving end of the abuse, and also to get help for the perpetrator and the perpetrators if they are willing to make changes. Now let's talk about the incorporator. The incorporator, from that word, is somebody that puts everything and lumps it together. In simple terms, they see their spouse as an extension of them. The incorporator has an incredibly difficult time seeing their partner as a separate person. A person who has separate needs, desires, interests. And that is why the person who is in a relationship with an incorporator will be met with intense opposition when they express their needs, because the incorporator does not believe that they have a right to do that. The incorporator believes that their way of showing love and affection to their spouse is determining and coming to their own conclusions as to what they think their spouse needs. Their opinion about everything that has to do with their spouse is what matters, not what that person wants. This is an incredibly destructive relationship. The incorporator is more likely to be somebody that has antisocial qualities, somebody that is not afraid to show anger publicly. If they are not violent in terms of the kind of violence that can land them in prison, they're more likely to be narcissistic, to where they have superficial charm and they're charismatic, so that people overlook and minimize the things that they do that is wrong. The person who is not criminally oriented, who fits this category, will be the kind of person that will bend the rules, but just bend it enough to where they don't get caught. So in some ways, they apply some intelligence to that. And they can be perceived as somebody who is very powerful and somebody who is worthy of respect. This person is so volatile and impulsive that in this relationship, there is no honeymoon period. If you look at some of my videos I've done in the past, I've talked about the cycle of abuse, where sometimes the victim goes to a season when they are in a honeymoon period and they're making demands of their spouse to change. And their spouse is giving them gifts and doing different things to convince them that the abuse is no longer ever going to happen. But for the incorporator, there is no honeymoon period. They run everything. And when they're angry, they carry it out. and the victim and the partner understands not to cross them, because if they do, they'll be met with very severe consequences. This relationship, and the wife in this relationship or the husband in this relationship, oftentimes this group is more likely to be a man. But regardless of a gender, this person is a kind of person that is so dangerous and is ready to destroy their spouse if they leave them. They could put information about there that is private. They could exaggerate or lie. And it is encouraged that people who are in relationships with the Incorporator leave town if possible, go underground, and if they're going to leave, go and be in a shelter and really stay away from the volatility of the Incorporator. The Incorporator is also person that is also the kind of person that doesn't just show aggression within the family, they also show it in the community. Even if they're not being criminally charged, they are engaging in things in the community that shows some level of aggression towards others. They're usurping the authority over others. They're taking advantage of others. They may be involved in financial crimes, white-collar crimes. They do not respect other people outside the home, and they evidently don't respect their own family. What is going on in their family is really part of how they operate, and that is not just restricted to the family. Everyone that comes across them over time starts to see the antisocial and the narcissistic personality features. The home life of the Incorporator is very chaotic. And they may not feel that chaos, Incorporator, because they're the ones who are on the receiving ends of all the respect. The respect they're getting from their spouse, from the children, is a respect that is founded in fear, that is based in fear. The Incorporator doesn't care that is based in fear, but they're getting all that respect. But it is chaotic for their spouse, and it is chaotic for the children, because the children too do not have a voice in this home. They know well to pay full attention to what the Incorporator wants, and they understand from a very young age that their needs and their desires are not important. The wife, the spouse, if it's not a woman, and the children will struggle severely with self-esteem. Over time, the person who is in a relationship or married to the Incorporator is not going to have a sense of self. That has been eroded over the years of being in a relationship with the Incorporator. When the Incorporator makes a threat, they almost always carry it out to send their partner the message that they are in control. Remember, the Incorporator, they put everything within the same box. That means they don't have the ability, or they don't have the interest or desire to separate their needs from that of the other person and accommodate the other person's needs. In this family, the aggression is so severe. It is not just limited to the spousal's abuse. It can affect the children. It can also include the animals in the home. The Incorporator would move his family away from people who could support the family, or people that could may feel like, if he feels like they're a threat to his authority, he can pack up the family within a relatively short time and take them out of town to a place where nobody even knows where they are. That is the level of control that Incorporator needs to feel that they are respected in the family. Almost always the Incorporator abuses drugs, has extramarital affairs, because again, there's this constant need to be in control, and part of that could be in terms of extramarital affairs. There's a lot of lying, misrepresentation of what is going on in the relationship. That is all part of the picture that the incorporator keeps in place to make sure that their image is intact, even though every other person's image in the family may be shredded in pieces. The incorporator simply does not care. The incorporator is more likely to be raised in a family where he was severely abused. This is part of how this person has been known to function, and they feel that they deserve this level of adulation and respect to be in control. This is what being a leader means in this family. This family is in trouble. This is the reason why shelters were made, this kind of family, and also the family of the controller. This is the reason, because this family life is chaotic, and people in this family will suffer from severe emotional and mental abuse. This family is where the incorporator would inflict serious damage to property, serious injury to their partner if they feel like they're being crossed, and if they're being pushed, they could actually commit a murder-suicide. This is a dangerous person. For anyone in this family unit, they may never share it fully, what they're going through, or they may share it in bits, because the truth is, the person who is a partner of Incorporator is scared to death of them, and they have every reason to be. If you're working with a family of Incorporator, you want to be careful in terms of confronting the Incorporator about what you know about the abuse. You may need to keep it a secret and help the spouse to move forward and get to a safe place quickly. This ends my mini-series on types of abusers, and I encourage you to review this and the other ones. If you are in a domestic violence situation, please get help and speak to somebody confidentially. If you are a child who has been in this family or a spouse who is no longer there, remember that you're more likely to be suffering from trauma. There is help for you. I encourage you to share this video with as many people as possible. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.